Okay, we're coming out of executive session with nothing to report. Going to agenda item 13. Gentlemen, we have a request to terminate an employee. What's your pleasure?
Move to approve the termination of Stephen Noble of Officer Island, Maine, from full-time employment as IT tech.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have a request, finally found the part-time ACO.
Yes,
Another part-time ACO.
very good candidate with different types of experience, will need to be certified, but definitely
How
has.
does it take for them to get certified?
Well, you're supposed to be certified within 6 months, so it's just a matter of getting basically her into the next round of training, and they usually do it twice a year so that they can make that 6 months requirement.
I move to approve the hire of Nicole Rediker of Trenton for part-time, on-call as needed, secondary regional animal control officer at a pay rate of $25.70, effective October 25th, 2025.
I'll second that.
So, Michael, she would be available when our primary ACO wasn't, correct?
Yeah,
So
so
we're not going to provide her with a vehicle or?
no, but I mean, there will be some equipment provisions and stuff, and then we're working out an agreement. Josh has generated something that we're modifying now between them about some of the stuff that they might be sharing, and then there will have to be some supplies we're just gonna have to give to her, you know, that just because she'll need it. And then the other issue is the initial training, so there will be some initial training, so some of the initial calls, they'll both probably be responding to stuff just until she gets familiarized with all the paperwork, the systems and all that
So
stuff.
we'll pay for her taking the course.
Yes, yeah.
Pay for that,
Yeah.
Kind of a side note. I know you've told us this, and we should probably sort of, it just didn't occur to me until we had the BAC meeting though, that the expenditures exceed the revenues for the ACO program. Do you really think they're going to be, that they're not going to cover the actual cost?
Right now, I would say no.
They're not
I
going-
mean, in all likelihood, the only part, as I said at the BAC, the challenge is we just don't know how many communities we might pick up or we could lose, which definitely would be subsequent. But the one wild card is whether or not the city of Ellsworth decides to do anything.
But if each community pays the ACO for the actual calls, and he has twice as many calls, we're gonna get twice as much revenue to cover that, correct?
I mean, in theory, all that as well as the 3% should pay everything off. That's why.
So where is what cost is not being covered by?
Well, let me-
No.
I mean, I can go back and pull it up, but for the most part, it's my understanding that, I mean, I didn't factor in the reimbursement revenue part because we have no idea. That's why I was trying to be fair with that.
It's based on the number of, what we take in for revenue is based on the number of calls, not just the contracts.
Right.
So I mean, that's the part of it. We could increase, I mean, if you wanted to, and we talked about this before, if you wanted to balance, we could. The likelihood that you're gonna spend all that payroll money was part of it as well. It's kind of slim, but we still have kept it at the budgeted 20 hours a week average based upon whatever the rate of pay is.
So
So,
if you budgeted 20 hours a week expenditures and you budgeted 20 hours a week of reimbursement, those two should balance each other out, right?
yeah,
If you had 30 hours on the average, then you're gonna get 30 hours of reimbursement. So in other words, the additional revenue, unanticipated revenue is gonna cover the unanticipated cost. And I'm just curious, what else is in there that drives up the cost of the BAC program to the point we can't?
well, I mean, that some of it depends on, I mean, of course, you got the cost for saving for the future, for the vehicles and all that. You got the equipment costs, $100 line, supply line that was discussed during the meeting. I mean, you've got some of the little other additional things that are above and beyond, obviously.
He doesn't get a base pay plus hourly rate, does he? No, he only gets paid for actual hours.
Only actual work.
Okay.
performed.
All right, moving on, I'm sorry. Hit the limit.
Yeah. waiting for a vote.
Yeah.
I know it, that's what I'm saying. Sorry. I'm gonna call the vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. What you got for three comments this morning, Michael?
So just one item, during the department head meeting last week, it was mentioned or asked, and I said, well, I would bring it up because we've not had the discussion yet, but whether or not the commissioners are going to consider closing early on Christmas Eve. There were some people that would have liked to have seen that last year, and we ultimately did because it was a snowstorm a couple hours early, but they're asking whether or not the commissioners would consider that and whether or not you'd actually, have that scheduled. And I don't know whether the assumption is that you would just do that and your Christmas parting gift would be to continue to compensate them, or they're asking that you would say, well, yeah, we can close at X time, but you're gonna have to use your own personal time if you wanna. And I said if it likely happened, it was more likely gonna be the second one, not the first, but I would present the issue. You don't have to give me an answer right now. Obviously, we have a little bit of time, but wanted to get it out there for discussion anyway, because they asked me where the commission might stand, and obviously we hadn't discussed it, so.
Well, of course, the problem is that the non-union 5-day week workers and whatnot, if they took the afternoon off from noontime on, and we paid them, then it doesn't cost us anymore. There's a therapeutic, theoretical loss of productivity, which we know isn't true. But anyways, the problem is that now you have the jail, sheriff's department, dispatch, those people that work 24/7 saying, we want a 4-hour or 5-hour benefit. And now, do what?
Extra pay.
Yeah,
Make up
that's
for
what I'm
that.
saying. They want to be compensated for a benefit they weren't able to
Sure.
take advantage of because of that 24/7. We're not going to shut down dispatch for, the afternoon. So it kind of opens up Pandora's box.
I'm supposed to be, unless you tell me otherwise, I just.
The alternative, of course, is to allow each department to decide that individually, and they would have to use their benefit time to do that. But are we going to permit registry to close at noontime and probate so until 5 or 4, or, what's the public expect when they come in? We want to go home at noontime?
Actually, I don't recall this being talked about last week, so this is the first I've heard of it, so I expect to work on Christmas Eve. That's just me.
Normally I would too, but I'm actually planning vacation that whole week, so doesn't impact me one way or the other, but.
What day's Christmas, the 26th? Is 25?
Thursday and Friday.
What is it?
Christmas is on Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Christmas Eve
Yeah.
would be the Wednesday,
Christmas
the
Eve will be
25th.
Wednesday.
So they get Wednesday afternoon, all day Thursday, gotta come back Friday, get Saturday and Sunday. Oh, gee whiz. What a quality of life that is, huh?
Well, they didn't ask for it, but you could always give them the 26th off.
More compensation.
Oh, my.
Friday off of Thanksgiving, so.
That's the.
Why rather do that? Indigenous people, right?
Seems like maybe a department by
Juneteenth.
department.
Well, again, you don't have to decide right now. I mean, it gave you a couple weeks to think about it. Like, put it on the agenda if you'd like going forward.
Well, I mean, so what's the process when, somebody wants to, is gonna, do they put in, if they wanna leave early for a day, like if they have whatever,
Yeah.
doctor's appointment,
Yeah.
put in,
I mean, it's for the most part, department by department handles it accordingly, but, that they would put in and for those that have immediate supervisors would tell them yes, no.
but what happens with their pay?
Well, their pay, would they be using whatever time? I mean, that'd be part of the conversation as well, so I mean, yeah, I mean,
Accrued benefits.
yeah, basically.
And that exists right now, whether we do anything or not. In other words, if the employee came to Julie down Deeds, I'd like to have the afternoon off for Christmas. And Julie said, okay, they've got it, they take care of themselves. What, do you think they were implying that they'd like to have the afternoon off of pay? And
I mean, I think the question was asked because they knew they were gonna be asked from their employees, so,
Department head?
yeah, department, our,
Well, my sense is that each department head knew that they could grant on an individual basis the afternoon off if they wanted to use benefit time. That tells me that they're implying that we give them the afternoon off with pay. I don't know, maybe,
Again, to me, it's like you do it with their benefit time. We don't really get involved, like you can take it off, you can not take it off, it's up to you. Handle it through, just like any other request.
but if the department has got 3 employees and they all want to take it off, shuts their office down at noon time?
Yeah.
She stays.
It's the 24th and nobody's gonna come into these.
And the department head would have to stay. To me, it's my responsibility if and I would work it out with I know there's only 2 of us, but I would work it out with the employee in my department, and it would be up to me to,
That's very valiant for you to say that. But if elected department head allow all of their employees to go home, walk out at noon time and lock the door, and hell of a lot we're gonna do. I don't think we're ready to take action on this today, Michael. I think, how often do you have department head meetings?
it's monthly, so every third Thursday, so
Every third Thursday?
the next time would be probably a week before Thanksgiving, so. When we'd actually meet as department head, but
You already had the third Thursday this month.
yeah, we just had it last week. But I mean, I can solicit obviously feedback of any nature from them prior to that too, so.
Well, maybe you should pin them down as to, were you considering the county granting that? Shutting the offices down at noon time and paying everybody for afternoon pay? Is that what they were looking for? Because this is just like the 4-day work week thing. I mean, the more you talk about it, the more you find that some people have different opinions. Is Monica saying that I don't care if you shut it down noon time or not, I'm staying here until 4. All right, I think we're taking no action on this. Michael, we'll leave it up to you whether or not you want to have us revisit this in the future.
Yeah.
Any comments or suggestions from the commissioners? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.